Imagine being trapped in a nightmare where the person you love the most turns your life upside down, destroying your peace, draining your energy, and stripping away your very sense of self. Sounds horrifying, right? But what if I told you this isn't just a bad dream? For countless people, this is their everyday reality, living under the relentless control of a narcissist. Today, we're not just exposing the monster behind the mask. We're teaching you how to shatter their ego and reclaim your life. Welcome to Toxic Truth, the channel dedicated to uncovering the dark, manipulative world of narcissistic behavior and giving you the tools to fight back. In today's video, we're diving deep into the most effective strategies to counter a narcissist's tactics, strip away their power, and take control of your own narrative. Whether you've been a victim or you're witnessing someone you care about being torn down, this video will give you the knowledge and the strength you need to dismantle their control. Let's get started. Narcissistic supply is the lifeblood of a narcissist's existence. It's what fuels their ego and maintains their self-image. But what exactly is narcissistic supply, and how does it play a role in the manipulation tactics of a narcissist? Understanding this concept is crucial for anyone entangled in a relationship with a narcissist, as it reveals the deep-seated emptiness driving their behavior. Narcissistic supply refers to the attention, admiration, and validation that narcissists crave to sustain their fragile self-esteem. This can come from partners, friends, family members, or even colleagues. But here's where it gets complicated. A narcissist will often cultivate different types of supply depending on their needs at the moment. This type of supply props up the narcissist's public image. They are often attractive, successful, and well-connected, essentially a trophy that the narcissist flaunts to boost their social status. While this person might enjoy an extended love-bombing phase, they're in for a psychological roller coaster as the narcissist uses their status to climb higher. For instance, one individual shared that their ex was incredibly indulgent, with hundreds of pairs of shoes and an obsession with outward appearances. This person was just another accessory to her, meant to enhance her image, while she drained him emotionally. This supply is viewed as beneath the narcissist, but they're reliable and easy to manipulate. This is the person who will do anything to keep the narcissist happy, even if it means sacrificing their well-being. Tragically, a sensitive person with low self-esteem often fills this role, finding themselves emotionally drained and discarded once they've been used up. For example, another individual recounted how their ex-wife slowly took control of their finances, hobbies, and even their social life, all while belittling and isolating them. When they realized what was happening, they were left with nothing, stripped of their identity and independence. A narcissist's need for supply is insatiable, and once they've drained one source, they'll move on to the next, leaving behind a trail of emotional wreckage. The more you understand these dynamics, the better equipped you will be to protect yourself or support someone else in breaking free from a narcissist's grasp. Setting and maintaining firm boundaries is essential. Narcissists push limits to maintain control, but they diminish their power over you by clearly defining what is acceptable and standing by those boundaries. However, it's important to remember that boundaries only work if you're using them to protect yourself, not to control the narcissist's behavior. A healthy boundary is about what you will or will not tolerate in your life, and enforcing those boundaries means being ready to distance yourself when they're not respected. For example, one person shared how they tried to set a boundary with their narcissistic partner by asking not to be called derogatory names. But instead of respecting this boundary, the narcissist used it as an opportunity to hurt them even more, calling them those names even more frequently. It's important to realize that narcissists will often see your boundaries as a challenge, a way to test how much control they will have over you. When faced with disrespect, walking away and disengaging is often the best response. Remember, boundaries are not about changing the narcissist, they're about protecting yourself. Suppose a narcissist refuses to respect your boundaries. In that case, you must take action to distance yourself, whether that means physically leaving the room, going gray rock, or, in some cases, cutting ties completely. As one person recounted, they ultimately defeated their narcissist by taking away their options, vocalizing boundaries not as requests but as non-negotiable red lines, and when those lines were crossed, they simply ended the conversation and left. In the end, the narcissist couldn't handle someone standing up for themselves and chose to move out, unable to cope with losing control. And speaking of taking control, later in this video, we'll reveal how narcissists often use legal and social systems to maintain their power, a tactic that's both cunning and dangerous. But more on that in Section 5, so stay with us. One of the most effective ways to deflate a narcissist's ego is through indifference. You deny them the emotional fuel they crave by staying calm, unemotional, and detached. Remember, your reaction is their reward, don't give it to them. Narcissists thrive on drama and emotional turmoil. They'll push your buttons, hoping for a reaction. Whether through insults, manipulation, or even love bombing, their goal is to elicit a strong emotional response from you. But what happens when you respond with indifference? It's like taking away their favorite toy. Indifference is powerful because it disrupts the narcissist's usual game. For instance, when one person adopted a gray rock strategy, becoming emotionally unresponsive and non-reactive, their narcissistic partner became visibly frustrated. Without the expected drama, the narcissist lost interest in the conflict. Indifference not only protects you from their manipulation, but also forces the narcissist to face their own emptiness and insecurity. But be prepared. Using indifference as a tool might escalate their attempts to provoke you initially. They might try harder, pushing your limits even further. However, by remaining detached and refusing to engage, you take away their power bit by bit. The more consistently you do this, the more they'll realize they can't control you, leading them to seek their supply elsewhere. Indifference can be a powerful tool against narcissists. For instance, one person shared how they employed the gray rock method, offering as little emotional response as possible when their partner tried to provoke them. By not reacting, they effectively reduced the narcissist's control over them. Another individual recounted how they refused to engage in arguments whenever their narcissistic partner crossed boundaries. Instead of getting drawn into a heated exchange, they would calmly remove themselves from the situation, leaving the narcissist with nothing to feed off. There was also a case where consistent indifference led a narcissist to end the relationship. The lack of emotional response became so frustrating for the narcissist that they couldn't handle it anymore. This shows that indifference doesn't just deflate a narcissist's ego, it can also drive them away. If you're finding these strategies helpful, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with others who might benefit. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue to create valuable content for those dealing with narcissistic behavior. And remember, while indifference is a powerful strategy, it's not always easy to maintain, especially when the narcissist uses legal or social system against you, a topic we'll dive into fully in Section 5. But first, let's explore how you can subtly expose their insecurities, making them question the foundation of their inflated ego. Narcissists often hide deep insecurities behind a facade of confidence. But what if you could subtly expose these vulnerabilities? By gently acknowledging their insecurities, you make them question their superiority. This isn't about being cruel, but about breaking their false sense of invulnerability. Narcissists might project an image of perfection, but inside, they're often plagued by self-doubt. For instance, one person shared how their narcissistic partner would become visibly upset when they didn't receive constant admiration for their appearance. By not feeding into their need for validation, the person subtly exposed their partner's insecurity about their looks. Another example involved a narcissist who frequently boasted about their career achievements. When someone pointed out a minor mistake they made at work, the narcissist's facade cracked, revealing their fear of being seen as imperfect. This caused the narcissist to spiral into a defensive rage, showing just how fragile their self-image is. But be careful. Narcissists are highly sensitive to anything that threatens their ego. When exposing their insecurities, you must be strategic and subtle. This tactic can lead them to question their inflated sense of self-worth, but also provoke a defensive response. It's a fine line between deflating their ego and triggering a full-blown narcissistic rage. As we'll explore in Section 5, narcissists may retaliate by using legal or social systems against you when their ego is threatened. But by combining the strategies we've discussed so far, setting boundaries, maintaining indifference, and exposing insecurities, You weaken their hold on you. Stick around, I will reveal more on how to protect yourself from their manipulative tactics using social systems to their advantage. Before we move on, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever noticed how a narcissist reacts when their insecurities are exposed? Share your thoughts and experiences with the community in the comments below. Your insights could help someone else in a similar situation. One of the most insidious tactics a narcissist can use is weaponizing the authorities against you. They might twist the truth or outright lie, painting themselves as the victim while framing you as the aggressor. Imagine the helplessness of being falsely accused, the authorities at your door, and the realization that your abuser has turned the system against you. This tactic isn't just about getting you in trouble, it's about control. By involving the authorities, they reinforce their power over you, making you feel trapped and isolated. One person shared how their narcissistic partner would call the cops after every argument, twisting the narrative to make themselves appear as the victim. The fear of losing everything, including your home, finances, and safety, becomes overwhelming. A victim recounted how their narcissistic husband drained their financial resources and manipulated the police to entrap them further. This tactic is particularly cruel because it exploits the trust society places in law enforcement. Victims often feel powerless, knowing that the authorities might side with the narcissist's fabricated story. One individual described how their narcissistic husband, after draining their finances and turning everyone against them, called the police on them repeatedly, further deepening the sense of entrapment and despair. When faced with this situation, it's vital to protect yourself. Document everything, seek legal advice, and ensure you have support network. It's crucial to maintain your composure and present your side clearly and factually, no matter how hard the narcissist tries to manipulate the narrative. And always remember, some people will believe you and help you break free. Let's quickly recap how you can counter and crush a narcissist's ego. Set firm boundaries, practice indifference, expose their insecurities subtly, and always stay grounded in facts. Avoid engaging in unnecessary drama and protect yourself when they try to use the authorities against you. Empower yourself through self-care, and most importantly, reclaim your power. You're stronger than they want you to believe.